The year was 2025. I was bored and checked the UNM server to see this message. Skylanders Hardcore Nuzlocke. That sounds awesome. I love doing Skylanders Nuzlockes. After watching the video, I on that same day went in to try this run. And I got shit on. I went on to do 5 more runs after this with a very poor plan, and only one of them ever made it out of giants. So I decided to switch up my strategy. Instead of streaming, where I would very easily get distracted because, like, there's a million other things going on, I just do it off camera on my own time. And also, I like have an actual plan for it. Now, you may be wondering, what are the rules of the run? There's a lot of rules. They're all in the description if you want to read them. But the main rules is you have to have 6 characters with 1 from each game. You unlock the character by getting their soul gem. And you can only switch when you are outside of battle. For this challenge, I decided to do which games I thought would be hardest, which is Giants, Swap Force, Trap Team, and Imaginators. Without further ado, let's get started. For my first character, I had to pick someone in the starter pack. I went with Cinder. Truex was really close being picked, though, because he allows you to open giant stuff, which gives you Pop to the Soul Gem, who is really good for this game, but Truex isn't really good for this game, so I don't want to use him. I could have also gone with Jetvac, who I feel like is better long-term with the corkscrew path, but I've lost like 5 runs off camera and 5 runs on camera just to giants, so I'm kind of focused on this game instead of later on. The majority of early game Giants is very uneventful because I've done a million other Nuzlockes with unupgraded characters, so I'm pretty used to it. Also, if I did end up losing someone in like Chapter 4, I'd just restart because it's so early on into a run. However, during Chapter 3, I did pick up my second character, Hot Dog. Hot Dog is overall just a very solid character. I don't really know who else I would have picked, maybe like Swarm. But I picked Hot Dog because, 1, him being fire helps me get the Firefighter hat and the Atom hat, which are really good hats for this game. And 2, I filmed this right after we did the fire race, which shows how old this video was, but I had a lot of practice with him because of that. On Chapter 5, we fought the evil Sunburn minion so we can get the Firefighter hat, and it's scary because, like, if I get hit, I'm probably just dead, but it's still not that hard. Because of the Firefighter hat giving us a big crit buff, and also just our characters being super upgraded because we only have 2 of them, the mid-game is very easy. Even Chapter 9, which is normally a jump in difficulty, is still a breeze. Chapters 10, 12, and 13 are a bit scary because they have enemies like Jawbreakers and Slobbering Mundicusses, which can probably just one-shot us if they hit us, but they didn't, so it's fine. Which means it's time for the Archean Trilogy. But before that, I have some stuff to say. First off, I actually did get hit by a mutton. I'm a filthy fucking liar, and I lived on 6-7 HP, which is really funny. Second off, for some reason, I picked Trial of Big Fish. I don't know why I did this, and I nearly died, but I did. And third off, anyway, back to 14. This chapter is rough. We have duelists who are serial killers who brag about killing people and confess and profess to being demons. There's shield juggernauts, which just have a bunch of health, and blaze birds, which aren't as annoying as everything else, but they still do a bunch of damage if you get hit by them. In the Arizona, we're forced through the fight where you get ambushed, which I think is one of the hardest fights in this game. I decided to go with Cinder because she has really good movement for avoiding duelists, and also there's an undead gate later in the chapter so I could heal up if I got hurt with her. But we didn't need it because we got through the fight unscathed. Well, actually, there was that one time where we got hit, but it doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter! We still got healed in the undead gate, it doesn't matter! We did have the water zone, which is normally a really hard part of the chapter, but it's not for me, because Cinder is gaming. Look at this. Oh, final fight. Look at all these scary enemies. Yeah, look at my hot dog cheese strat. Wow! Chapter 15? More like chapter stupid. Cinder goes out to the extreme. And with that, it was time for chaos. At this point, I was pretty nervous. You can tell because I forgot to get the Atom hat. But I had no reason to be nervous, because Hot Dog is one of the best characters for killing chaos. Probably the best option that I had. I could have also switched in battle, but I didn't know at the time, so, yeah, I don't do that a single time in this video. But whatever, who needs it? Well, isn't this awkward? Alright, so I lost all my health, so I couldn't dodge the magic. And then the machine, when it was healing me, just switched over to being evil, so I couldn't get my health back. But it's not completely over, because Hot Dog is still a really good character. He still has the high damage, and also he has the roll combo, which is very good for dodging the lasers and the enemies. So, it's not that bad. We make it to the final phase where I get greedy, and I try to attack an enemy, which causes Hot Dog to die. This sucks, but it's not that bad. After this game, he would mostly just be fodder for, like, the Swap Force turret sections, but we'll live on. I mean, actually, we might not. We still have to, like, win the fight, and I immediately lose, like, half my health with Cinder. But I get lucky, and the shield juggernaut just falls off, and with that, I can very easily win the rest of the battle. Moving on to Swap Force, immediately Cinder feels just worse. She does, like, a lot less damage, and she doesn't have knockback, which is, like, the most important thing for this game. I mean, yeah, she has stunning, but, like, I can't knock enemies off cliffs. It doesn't matter, though, because in Chapter 2, we get our next character. You probably guessed by the thumbnail in the start of the video, but it's Rattleshake. This guy is absurdly good. Let's talk about everything he has. He has just high damage, a slow, very good knockback, but most importantly, he has the snake skin. The way the snake skin works is when you have it on, if you get hit, you will take half damage. Because both our bottom and top half have it, we only take a quarter damage from every hit. Thanks to how Swap Force works with its half damage mechanic, we are taking nearly nothing from every enemy hit. The moment I got Rattleshake, I never got off of him once. Cinder was only used for Chapter 1 and 2. Not even for the raft section, which I probably should have used her for. You may notice I'm sort of speeding through the entire game in the background. That's because nothing really happened. Like, I just used Rattleshake for every fight, and they were all easy. The only times where I actually got low was on the turret section in Boney Islands and Chaos. But in both those cases, I just lived, so it was fine. If you want to see some of the footage I skipped over, in the description of this video, there's going to be all the unedited footage of me playing the run, in case you want to see, like, Swap Force, or maybe parts of Giants that I skipped over. Anyways, moving on to Trap Team. Third of it was very easy because I had 2 maxed out characters. I mostly just used Cinder because, like, she was way lower level than Rattleshake. But that doesn't last for long, as in Chapter 6 we get our next character, Deja Vu. Looking back, I kinda regret this, because I really only got her for Imaginators, but I didn't really need her for Imaginators since I already get a Sensei, and I feel like someone like Bumbleblast would have been just better for Trap Team, and also, like, still would have been good in Imaginators. But she's not the only character I pick up, because in Chapter 7 I get Crypt King. Crypt King is insane in this game. He has high damage, healing, a stun. He's really just that guy. Also, yes, half my roster is undead. With both Crypt King and Rattleshake, the mid-game was very easy. I was also just not using Deja Vu to try to save her for Imaginators. She only got to level 2 on Crankcase. You may have noticed I've also not talked about, like, any of the hard boss fights. That's because they all just died to Rattleshake. But on Wolf King, I decided to switch it up. I used Crypt King, not Rattleshake. But in all seriousness, things did actually go bad. When I was trying to heal up Crypt King, my keyboard decided to disconnect. And I couldn't move, right? But that happening, I already lost all the health I'd gained back, and then my keyboard disconnected again! I obviously died because, like, I couldn't move, and I was pretty upset about this, because, like, it's not my fault. So I decided to ask Mr. No Name himself, and he said that it was fine to say Crypt King could come back. He actually had something like this happen in his own run with Nugini, so it's fine, alright? It's fine. It's not my fault. The game blatantly cheated. The game blatantly cheated. Anyways, I did the fight again. The lowest I ever got to was only 347. It was really easy. Crypt King's broken, bunch of healing, bunch of damage. Now next up is Taekwon Crow, and because I was playing on the Wii U version, he was actually really scary. On the Wii U version, he has a special glitch where if his purple laser goes off the edge of the map, you will just die. Nowadays, I'm not that scared about it because I actually know how to counter it, but back then, I had never really done it before. I decided to do it with Cinder because she's the character I cared the least about, and she nearly died to just the enemies before the actual fight. But she got to level up to get back to full, and I didn't mess up the strategy. But next up was Golden Queen. Normally, she's probably the hardest boss fight in this game, but not if your name's Crypt King. Alright, there was the one time where I got to like 143 health, but there was foot on the floor, so it was fine, and I lived the fight. That's all that matters. Fuck! Yes, I did lose Deja Vu to just the random enemies in the Chaos level. Yes, they are the ones from Chapter 1. Yes, I am an idiot. But that doesn't matter, because it's time for Chaos. The impossible boss. Hardest Skylanders boss ever. Crypt King, he doesn't care about that. Phase 1, done easy. Phase 2, not even broken a sweat. But in Phase 3, I panicked. And I fucked up and lost, like, all my health. And before I could recover with the bees, it was too late. Doom Sharks came, and I couldn't dodge them, causing Crypt King to die. This is bad. I'm left with only 2 characters, and one of them is Cinder, who can't do anything. I also immediately got hit and lost a bunch of health, so if I'm gonna want to win at this point, I'm gonna need to play the best fucking Skylanders in my life.
Have a good time, that's what I keep on saying till I lose my mind. Feel like a bird in the sea breeze, shine like a moon in the last sky. Can you believe it till the end of your life? Oh, we some steps into a room, that's enough for families, but you're ready, know how to have fun. No need of explanation. Whoa, what's worth of nothing? Whoa, what's worth of nothing? Sure, that doesn't matter. Oh, sorry, just cause you think you love me. Don't try to change my mind. Happiness is seeing a newborn. All future that could be dream of. Everything will be judged by how the multiply. Don't waste some labels in the hands. Great papers now you need a phone. Don't mind if they make a mistake. Let go tell their hell What's the worth of nothing?
And with that, Chaos and Trap Team were finished. Moving us on to the final game of the run, Imaginators. Like with every game in this run, the early game is very easy. I don't get my character until the middle of the game, and I'm just using maxed out characters. I use Cinder for all the easy stuff because she needed XP still, and Rattleshake for any bosses or fights that I didn't want to do with Cinder. On Chapter 4, I did get Cinder to level 20 though, so I stopped using her and only used Rattleshake. This only lasts for one chapter though, as on Chapter 5 I got my last character, Blastertron. Unlike Rattleshake or Crypt King, there's nothing really special about Blastertron. He just does an insane amount of damage. I think my biggest complaint about him is genuinely his Sky Chi is pretty bad. But guess what? Those are banned anyway, so it doesn't matter! While he was leveling up, I just used Rattleshake for boss fights, and they were obviously easy because, like, it's Rattleshake. Anyways, Blastron kills Smasher, Rattleshake kills Bowslinger, we do a million keg missions. Alright, who cares about all this? I know what you're here for. You're here for Quick Shot. Also, before that, I lost like half my health to the fight in the light zone, but it's fine because there's food in the chapter, and I lived, so yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyways, back to Quick Shot. First phase, super easy. Don't get hit at all. Second phase, not as easy. I get hit twice by like the stupid boomerang thing, and I lose 400 health. I then spent like 3 minutes looking to see if I could switch in boss fights. In the end, I decided to just keep going with Blastertron for some reason. I didn't realize the entire time I could have been using my secondary to just stop the boomerangs from being a threat. Or seriously, what was wrong with me in 2025? Like, look at these videos that I made.
Get him out. He's free. Yeah, yeah, Stump Smash.
You know, honestly, that's some shit I still do now. Like, also, I won the fight. And with that, we pretty much just won the run, I guess. Super Chaos is, like, an insanely easy fight. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Well, with that, I guess we're down to just one character. Hey, what about me? Fuck you! And with that, it was over. I had won my first ever hardcore Nuzlocke. Looking back, I'm kind of surprised with how much I struggle with Super Chaos. I mean, it's a really easy fight. Even nowadays, this happens with a lot of my runs, mainly because I'm not paying damage attention because, like, it's the very end of the run. I probably have some backup characters, and also just the fight is easy, as I previously said. Also, Cinder actually died after I beat Chaos. I just want to make the final battle more intense. And I gotta be honest, looking back at the run, I feel like it would have been harder to skip Swap Force and go Giants, Trap Team, Superchargers, and Imaginators, just because I wouldn't get Rattleshake. He is that good. But before the video ends, I have a couple things to give. First off, no name or don't ban please, or no name don't ban please. Whatever he wants to go by, he made the challenge. Really awesome guy. He's French. Yeah. Also, shout out to Logan Rexy. Him making his video made me think, I should fucking do this, because I convinced him to make his video, and I still don't have mine done. And also, a special thank you to you, the viewer. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed whatever this was. And I'll see you in whatever next wacky video I do. Goodbye.